I can't get this camera to flip around. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna try and do this with my window down, but I guess I'm gonna have to put it up because some guy pulled up next to me here in the truck stop, and this truck went into a regen, and it is stumbling all over the place. Tell you what. See if I can. And it is stumbling all over the. See if I can't get this camera right. Been a while since I did this here from the phone. Anyway, how's everybody doing tonight? Just sitting here in the truck stop. Thought I'd talk about a couple things. Haven't done this in a while. But did I buy the truck? Well, had an interesting day today. I haven't been on the road much. I haven't driven much here in the last few months because staying home and dispatching and all that stuff. But had a driver had an emergency today, or actually yesterday. So I said, hey, get empty. He wasn't that far from me, so I said, get empty. And could you just meet me with the trailer, down the way, and I'm gonna do your loads because I don't want to cancel them. I don't like to be canceling loads, and they were just short loads, and I could do it. So, did the first one there, got that. Went to a Lineage Logistics this morning, and I tell you what, I never been in and out of a Lineage so fast in Rochelle, Illinois. Had a 9 a.m. appointment, rolled in there at 6. She said, your appointment's at 11:30. I said, oh, how about that? Thought it was 9. So she says, come on in, back up door 25. They'll open your doors. I was out of there at 7:30. Where'd the chat go? I lost the chat. There we go. So then I'm like, well, I got time to squeeze in. I had another load scheduled for tomorrow. So I got time to squeeze in a short water load here. So I went to pick that up and, check in at the microphone, and they canceled the load on me. So that's how that goes. So I'm like, hey, yesterday I got a phone call from the guy I've been buying trucks from at the Mack dealer, and he says, hey, remember that truck you looked at a couple times already this year and I sold it out from underneath you? I says, yeah. He says, I got it back again. For the second time. The last time I looked at it, I was in the truck with one of my drivers. We were in the truck looking at it, looking things over, giving, just starting an inspection. He calls, he's like, somebody bought the truck. I said, well, I'm here looking at it. He says, done deal. He says, they put money down. It's gone. So I'm like, well, screw me. So we went home, and then he just called me. Yes, that was a month ago. Calls me yesterday. Hey, that guy ghosted us. He put $1,000 down, and then never bought the truck. Never even asked for his money back. So I says, cool. Why do I keep losing the chat? Let's try this here. Live chat. Yeah, let's try that. So I'm like, well, I got time. I'm right by that dealer today, so like, hey, I'll stop in and look at this truck again. I already looked at it before twice, but never really got a whole look at it. Did a video a while back. It was in one of the videos where I was looking at those two gray Macks, and this was the better of the two, actually. So like, I'll stop in and look at that today. So went in, gave it a whole inspection, and I really like it. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if anybody else would like it because it's a very bare bones truck. Why does the chat keep disappearing on me? I don't know. We'll deal with it. I'll just keep going through. Very bare bones fleet spec. No power mirrors, which ain't that big a deal to me. No power, it's power window and lock on the passenger side, but not on the driver's side. And it seems to be a big deal to people. And it's a 10-speed manual, which I don't really care. The truck drove beautifully. The last time I drove it, the front end shimmied real bad. I think the tires were out of balance. They had put newer steer, replaced one of the steer tires. Now she freaking rides like a dream, and everything in the motor seems to be in order. Went underneath it, went through the drive line. Brakes are sketchy. Some of them got plenty of life left in them, but one axle is close to the wear mark, and then the air conditioning wasn't working, which ain't that big a deal. I can fix it, but I kind of feel like if I'm buying a truck that the air conditioning should work. And then the fan clutch wouldn't engage. It's got a manual switch, and when I hit the switch, the fan clutch wouldn't engage. So I'm like, thinking that's probably the switch, because usually if a fan clutch fails, it locks on, unless it's a default off. But I'm like, I'm buying a truck, that should really work too. So they have to fix those couple things. The brakes, I don't know if they'd fix, because technically they're legal. And pretty much if you're looking to buy a truck right now, like, you're buying it kind of the way it is. They don't have to fix anything. Like, I got till tomorrow to give them an answer, and if I don't buy it, it'll just be gone. I don't know if I'm gonna or not. Thought about buying it for me, but after today, trying to drive myself, find myself a couple loads, and dispatch and bill and invoice and hunt for freight 6 other drivers, I can't be in the truck. About damn near killed me. So I don't need to be in this truck anymore. I don't need a truck for myself. But Big Orange is suiting me pretty well. You know, I use it for running around trailers to get work done, like rescuing loads. If I need to go load a load for a driver or whatever. So I was thinking about buying it for another, whatever you call it. It ain't really a lease, but it's just a finance deal, but it pretty much just financing the truck. But I haven't decided on that, because I don't know if anybody will want it, because a lot of people I talk to, like, they're hung up on certain things, and I gotta have a double bunk, I gotta have an automatic, I gotta have power windows, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating because, like, kind of feel like on a silver platter I'm handing you a 6-figure net income, and you can't make any compromises. It's kind of frustrating, but I get it. But it's like you haven't been able to get a truck on your own because either you don't have enough down payment, or they want 30% interest, or you don't have any money. I kind of feel like, excuse me, like, you got to start somewhere. Like, I think that's going to be part of my interview process going forward, is like, are you willing to make any compromises at all? Because if not, why should I work as hard as I do in the situation I'm putting together to hand you, like, literally a unbelievable income? So it's kind of like, what are you gonna do? Like, can you compromise a little bit? Can you run it for a year, you bank up some money, go get your dream truck? Like, it's kind of how life works. I keep losing the chat here, damn it. I don't know why. I'm gonna get the chat going on my tablet. Yeah, you got to start somewhere. I'm not ignoring you guys. The chat keeps going away here. Let me just see who we got in here. Mark M, channel member, says hello. Thanks, Mark. Hope you guys can hear me okay. I don't know. Jamie O, Mac Millie, thumbs up. Nomadic Brit, thanks for coming in. Check out Nomadic Brit's channel. Roflo Dude, thanks for coming in. Truck Diver. Did I? Not yet. I still haven't really decided. I kind of got to come to a decision tomorrow, or they're going to put it out for everybody. Oh, another thing, I don't have a trailer yet to go behind it. I have 2 leads on trailers, but they're older than I want. I don't want, one's a 2006, which is in really good shape. It's a flat floor utility with an SB 210 unit with 13,000 hours. So, I mean, the unit's really good. I don't really want to be buying a trailer that old, but it's got, new airbags, brakes. It's got a lot of new components, but it's like some places won't load it, And then the other one's a 2009 for 17,000. But then again, too, I don't really want a trailer that old. So I talked to that guy I've been buying trailers from, and he says, like, I'm gonna be having some 2013s come in, which I'd like newer than that too. But I mean, it's getting friggin' desperate out there for equipment. Let me tell you what, like, I know I preach it all the time, cry wolf, whatever, but it's freaking bad. It's bad. like, I know people that are in the office in mega carriers, and like, they can't buy trailers because they don't have the parts to make them. So if the manufacturers can't get parts, the hell do you think is going to happen to us? But Skinny Peters will give me $35,000 for it, maybe for a down payment. But anyway, so the Mack, am I turning into a Mack guy? I mean, I like them. We got 4 in the fleet. The drivers like them. They've been good trucks. I mean, I'd still rather have a Freightliner Cascadia, I'll be honest with you. I would. But the price point, like, this truck is 462,000 miles. And, you know, because I've built a relationship with the salesman, I can get them, you know, first choice at any truck around that price point. And it's like 45,000. Now, 462,000 miles in a Freightliner, you know, give or take a year or two in age, you're still looking at like $70,000 to $80,000 in some places. You might do better than that, but am I a Mack guy? Well, I tell you what, I'm a guy that, like, you get trucks at good trucks at a reasonable price. You gotta give somewhere. You know, I can't be buying Cascadias with 600,000 miles on them for $90,000. I mean, I've seen them that much. I've seen them more than that. Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I mean, these trucks make a lot of sense right now. That's why I'm buying them. Will I become a Mack guy? Nah. To me, you can't beat the efficiency of a Freightliner. I mean, I know everybody has their favorite trucks. It's a business thing, you know. They make a lot of sense. But let me just run through some more comments here. Elite 809, haven't seen you in here before. Welcome. L Stacker says, "Yo, thanks for coming in." Alex in the house. Skinny Peters, he's going to give me $35,000 down on that. Truck Diver, Macks are still reasonably priced. They are. And after having a few of them in the fleet, like, I don't know why the hell people are so scared of them. They're good trucks. Like, the chassis, they're great. The chassis are great. Same engine transmission that's in a Volvo. Common issues. All right, let's talk about some common issues. That's an MP8 motor. It's the same motor as what's in the Volvo. The electronics are a little bit different. The I-shift and the M drive, same transmission. Known issues with the motor. Okay, around 500,000. You're probably gonna put injectors in it. Not that big. $6,700. Yeah, it's a lot of money, but you're gonna know it's coming because it's a common thing. I'll take that. You know, everything else in that freaking motor, those motors, it's tight. They run great. Haven't had a lot of deep emissions after treatment system issues. A couple of knock sensors on one of the trucks, and that was it. And then we put a charge air cooler in one. And then other known issue is these tiny little coolant lines with the Macks and the Volvos, the return lines and the supply lines from the water pump. They crack. The ends crack where they go into the reservoirs. I've replaced them on just about every truck. Not a big deal. Just kind of a bad design. Other than that, we haven't had issues. One starter. That's routine maintenance. And let's see. One water pump. And then a guy had an alternator. Those things are wear items. Around, you know, they were all failed around more than 500,000 miles on them. So they're wear items. The only thing, well, our injectors wear items to an extent eventually, but, you know, time it out. One of them had new injectors before we bought it. No, I'm sorry, two of them. And then one, no, they were both before we bought them, none afterwards. Anyway, cattle hauling in here. Good evening. Thanks for stopping in. Everybody check out cattle hauling. No, that's cattle hauling with Lone Star. Is that the same guy? I don't know. John Garcia's in here for his first live chat. Thanks for coming in. Momentum L's in here. Thanks for coming. L Stacker says cannonball the like button. Thanks, buddy. Skinny Peters wants to know, do I often take loads from my drivers? No, no, sir. No, Joe. No, sir, I do not. I take them for my drivers. You know, I fall on that sword for my drivers. JK, did he give you the $1,000 discount? I'm going to ask for it. I didn't call him with my list of demands yet. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Oh, it's also got a check engine light on, which we're gonna see what that's all about. It doesn't show up. Mack has an extensive what do you call it, onboard diagnostic thing called the guard dog. That code does not show up in guard dog. You can read the whole after treatment system. It does not show up in there. And the soot level in the DPF is at like 2%. So it's not needing a parked regen. The truck's been sitting. It hasn't moved in quite a while. And I know this. The last guy that was going to buy it, I know he didn't test drive it because the first time I looked at it, I forgot about this, but I had a red rag I was using when I was crawling around underneath it and wiping my hands. And I left it behind one of the tires. And the doggone thing is still there months later. So either somebody parked it in exactly the same spot and situation, or that truck has not moved. It fired up like boom, like right off the bat. Batteries are good. I like to see a truck. I like to start it on my own after it's been sitting, especially those Macks with the injector things. If you got an injector leak down, it's not going to start. You're going to have to prime the system. And me starting it colder after it's sat for months, it's good to know that, you know, there's no injector leak down. So let's see who else we got here. Oh, so two guys put $1,000 down on it, and they both walked away. The salesman says they freaking ghosted them. They never even asked for their $1,000 back. I'm like, that's just stupid. People can't get financing. And if they can, it's what, 50% down and 30% interest? I'm like, you know, if you meet my demands, I'll stroke you a check for the truck. So I don't know. And then it'll sit till I get a trailer. I don't know. But you know, whatever. Lance Calhoun says bare bones is good, less to break down. I agree. I'm kind of that way. You know, this Columbia is not a fancy truck, but you know, it's easy to fix, a lot less things to break. But a lot of people don't see it that way. And if you're working for a company, you know, especially a big company, and you got, you know, you're driving a newer Kenworth or Cascadia, you get used to those comforts. People don't like to go back. People don't like to go back. But I'm thinking that's a good test. Like, can you sacrifice or compromise a little bit? I don't know. Just thinking about it. I mean, I would drive the damn thing, but I don't need a lot. Like, I'm still driving this million-mile Schneider truck. All my drivers drive better trucks than me. It don't bother me a bit. I'd rather have it that way. So, you know, I don't require a lot. Lance Calhoun says, or Truck Diver says, how are you finding quality drivers? They're all new at the owner operator thing, so it's kind of it's a learning experience, you know. So they're learning. I'm trying to help them as best I can. You know, we really do try to work together on things. I like the guys that work for me. They're pretty good guys. Bruce S says, I'm a Mack guy, LOL. I like them. They make a lot of sense right now. The prices are, it's about the only truck left that the prices are reasonable. Are they perfect? No. The fuel economy could be better. But, you know, if you want to get into business, you got to start somewhere right now. Everything's stupid, man. And pretty soon there won't be any Macks to be had. This is just crazy, man. I've been calling around and trying to find equipment, and you know, whenever I call somebody, I talk to them a little bit, and they're like, forget it. My trailer guy told me today, finally, he's like, you can find a trailer, buy it. He's like, we've been told to stop selling trailers. The fleets that they take trades off of have stopped turning them in because they think they can sell them for more on their own. But then they're not selling them; they're just holding on to them. So I don't know. I don't know. Patrick Irgan says, I like the Mack. Paul Harris, hey there. Hey, Paul. Paul Chappa, is it the Mack dealer in Madison? No. One of them I looked at several months ago was in Madison. This one was a different dealer, and I'm not going to tell you where it is. That as of now, that truck has my name on it, at least till tomorrow. But John says, sounds like it needs some work. Hopefully he gives you full disclosure on repairs needed. To be honest with you, these people don't know a lot. They bring the trucks in on trade. They DOT them. They don't dig that deep. And honestly, right now they don't have to, because they could sell a rolling pile of garbage tomorrow. So you really got to do your own. Even now more than ever, you really got to do your own inspections and really just get into things. I didn't pull an oil sample. Honestly, there's not going to be time. Like, I got to make this decision tomorrow, or the truck will be sold to somebody else. Like, I looked at it today. So some things is a risk. In fact, there was another guy walking the lot, looking at a truck next to it. It is a newer Volvo, out of my price range. But he wanted to look at the one I was looking at, and the salesman's like, that's on hold for right now. So I don't know. JK says, the drivers at my company seems to like the Macks. Yeah, I don't know. I think once some people try them, they like them. I mean, the sleepers and the cabinets, they're not as big. They don't have the inside figured out like, Freightliner and Volvo, and I don't know, I've never owned a Kenworth. But they ride nice. I'm surprised at the ride, to tell you the truth. Truck Diver says, does it have a digital dash? Not. It's got the analog gauges. John Garcia says, I'll take it. 6-figure, no complaints here. Yeah, got to start somewhere. That's right. That's kind of the attitude you got to have, Telby Goris says, definitely understand that, because I have a 2001 Volvo and no one wants to drive it because it's an older truck. It's got all the bells and whistles, but still no one wants to get in it. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to find drivers at all. Places are struggling, but I don't know, if you're a big company, like, you got to keep up with the competition. And I get that. Like, do you have to have brand new trucks all the time? Does it make sense? Not necessarily, but like, if you're trying to recruit drivers, you got people to compete against. You got to compete against Joe Blow down the street and those big carriers. You got to keep drivers happy, and it's hard. It's a difficult task. It's a fine line to walk. Armando says, Paul Harris says, miss the outhouse. Yeah, I'm here in the truck tonight doing some work, doing some loads. Good to get out and stretch the legs once in a while, but I tell you what, I can't drive this truck and haul freight and dispatch six other guys at the same time. It's I'm freaking exhausted and stressed. It was a rough day because a few guys had problems. So it's difficult, but hey, we got to get stuff done sometimes. Sean Fairman says, buy it, they will come. Yeah, somebody will. Armando Rodriguez says, what motor on that Mack? It's an MP8. I think it's a 445 horse, 10-speed manual, Eaton Fuller. I forget the rear end ratio. Doggone it. It's 336 maybe? I don't know, it's 67 miles an hour. I was at like 1,400 RPMs, I think. 1425. I can't really remember. They had a governor on it, so that I wasn't able to, really wind it up. Paul Chappa says, I'll drive it. I'm driving one just like it now. How do you like it? How do you like it? Armando says, it's getting so expensive. Brother, that's the truth. Is the way things are going, you won't be able to, nothing will be had at any price. Like trailers, you want to use a trailer, they're hard to get at any price. Just, it's certain places they just don't exist. Start Trucking says, I'm from SoCal, always appreciate your info. Well, thank you. Oh, channel member, Stat Trucking, thanks for that, appreciate it. Skinny Peter says, can you at least purchase me one of those new Kenworth T680s? I can send you the specs I want. Not in a million years. Like, I could buy 4 or 5 of these trucks for what I could get a T680 for. Plus, I don't have money to stroke a check for that. John Garcia says, I'm paying $800 a week on Ryder Rental 2018 Freightliner automatic with $420K on it, plus $450 a week for insurance. Way too much, but no choice for me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I don't know that the payment on this truck would be much more than $800 a month. Well, probably be. I've learned a couple things from doing some of those deals. I'm going to shorten them up. Like, they're not going to be financed over a few years anymore, or even like, we'll set it up, and like after 6 months, I want it over. Like, pay me off or refinance it. Like that's a lot of money to have out there. But Armando says $800 a week. You're nuts, Armando. There's people paying $1,500 a week. $1,300 a week. Hirschbach lease purchase Prime. There's people paying double that. So $800 a week is a lot, but it could be way worse. Antonio says, can you please make a video about how to set up my business with ADT and any other tax app for paying myself as a W-2 employee, or recommend us an account with truck experience? Look for a local CPA with some experience with the trucking business. Business is too important to leave to an app. Taxes are too complicated to leave to an app. Maybe if you find an accountant, they could recommend good software or program for you, but it's too important to not get it once you get it set up. But you need help setting things up from a really good professional. It's worth the money, trust me. Sean Fairman says 2019 Cascadias with 350 on them, bringing 110 to 115 in PA. Man, that's what I'm saying. 3 years newer, 100,000 less miles, triple the price. I like that. I like that deal more and more all the time. I'm tempted to buy the damn truck. Maybe if I am putting somebody in it, I could probably flip it, or just, I don't know, but like, I hate to pass up. I'm gonna try and open my window. Let me know if it gets too loud, but it's a little warm here, so hopefully that's okay. Elite 809 says, yes sir. All right. Bruce says, that's why I bought my Mack. Best bang for my dollar. Yeah, that's a smart move. Really, that's how I measure things right now. It's sad we got to live in an environment right now where you got to say, what's the least stupid move? I don't know. To pay, what is it, 4 or 5 years ago, those Cascadias brand new were 120,000. I don't know. I'm just estimating. Now all of a sudden, 350,000 miles are the same price. What is less? I'm not saying it's stupid to buy one, because if you need a truck, you got to have the tool to do the job. I mean, that's the business we're in, but it's just sad the way we have to measure things now. It really is. Let's see here. Nomadic Brit, just pulling into the Petro. Okay, let's hook up. I'm live from the fuel island. I'm not on the fuel island, but give it a little bit. If you're going to be here, we'll hook up. They say Mack is really expensive to maintain. No, that's not true, man. It's not true. Build the relationships, all right? So we talk about building freight relationships all the time. This is important too, okay? Back in December, I found the first Mack. I talked to the salesman. I told him what I'm trying to do. I'm like, trying to build, a fleet. Maybe I need to buy some trucks, sell to some guys, lease purchase them, whatever. We've built a relationship, okay? After I had a couple of them, I went to him. I said, listen, dude, I bought 4 trucks from you this year, and I'm not getting any preferred pricing on parts or service. You guys got 11 dealers around me, state of Wisconsin. how about you give me some discounted pricing on some parts and service and labor? He's like, done. So I got their best tier pricing, which is pretty good for 4 trucks. I mean, there's guys that have 100 trucks, and supposedly they gave me the same level as them. And I've found the service network. Everybody says don't buy anything but a Freightliner or whatever because the service network is so bad. I have had such good experiences with the service network. I don't know how many times we've rolled in there and said, hey, I got this. Can you just look at it and check engine, whatever? Yeah, pull up to that bay. Like right now. I had a guy show up with, what the hell a wheel seal. Yeah, pull into that bay. You know, and they're busy. They're working on stuff. So it's like, build the relationships just like you would with brokers or whatever. And you know, when that salesman gets a truck that comes in any of the 11 dealers, he calls me first. So that's kind of nice. You know, it helps. So it brings your costs down. Now, if something happens out on the road, do I get that deal? No, not necessarily. But it's just the way it is. But build relationships. It makes a big difference. Instead of floating all over, doing this here, doing this there. Will you maybe pay more in the beginning? Sometimes you might, but it's long term. It's the long run. Let's see here. YGTCB says, how is the fuel mileage in those Macks? Not all of them have the same rear end ratio. So I think the best one, he's about 7.25, like 7.27. And then the other ones are all right around the 7 mark. They've worked hard to get the fuel mileage up. Now, we'll talk about that other ways, the things that they've done, but Sophisticated Redneck, is this the one we were emailing about when I sent you that other one? Depends. Are you the guy from California? I may have sent you that, yeah, probably. John says, I know it's crazy, I don't have a choice with 2 months experience. All right. Let's see. J True says, how's it going? Thanks for coming in, J True. Appreciate it. Going all right. Just winding down a day here, waiting to pick up a load tomorrow. Run down to Indiana. Then I'm gonna go home, and I got to catch up on some office work. Man, I got loads to bill out, all kinds of garbage. Skinny Peter says, what kind of fuel economy? I got text here. On those Macks that you have in your fleet, well, I just talked about that. Paul says cups and injectors. Yep, that's one of the known things. Dang it! Stop texting me. But if you know what's coming, you'll see some signs, and you can take care of it in time instead of having to do it emergency later. Do it then. You can do it like I said, build that relationship. Do it at your home shop, and save some money. Especially if you're getting preferred pricing on parts and labor. Let's see here. With both feet, channel member, thanks for coming in. Gotta go. Have a great night. Thank you for coming in, buddy. Appreciate that. Jerry Biggerstaff in here. Hey, how you doing? Armando says PDF. Oh yeah, you need to delete that like today. Nah, I'm not trying to do that with these trucks. Number one, I don't need the problems from the man, and they run fine. They have very few, almost no after treatment issues so far. The one, like I said, the one when we first got it, like the first week, it needed NOx sensors. Put NOx sensors in it, just fine. I attribute a lot of that to the fuel ox. I'll be perfectly honest with you. Getting good results with it, and take care of it, you know. Bruce says he's getting 8.8 with his Mack on normal loads, 6.2 to 6.4 heavy loads, and his truck is tuned to 585, 2060 torque. Yeah, it's how you set it up, how you drive it, how you idle it. With the how you drive it thing, we found that I had a driver try it out, like just it's always running 100% on, you know, not 100%, but you know, going down the road on cruise control all the time, coming up the hills, leave it on cruise. I said, start taking it off cruise before you go up hills. especially if they're small ones. He's like, it made a big difference because you hit a hill with that cruise on it, you're going to try to give it 100% throttle, even if you don't need it. If it's a small incline, you're giving it way more fuel than it needs. So drive it by the foot, in the hills, and he's done a lot better. Dan's Outdoor Adventure says, sounds like maybe it's meant to be. Yeah, I don't know. The whole not having a trailer thing really is holding me back. I don't know. I got a lot of thinking to do. Got to talk to the wife tonight. All that kind of stuff. Skinny Peter says, your drivers, when you say you'll fall on a sword, for your driver, is that code? No, I don't think so. Mark M says, hit the like button. Thank you, Mark, channel member. Paul Harris, he says, taking loads for the drivers and stroking checks. Sounds like a Friday night at the manhole. Is that like the, what was that bar in the Police Academy movies, the Blue Oyster? Oh, Adventurer Carlos says, exploded light button. Thank you, buddy. Armando says, Kenworth and Mack, only thing kind of cheap right now. A day's Freightliner, it's expensive because it's a company truck. Yeah, but man, you can't beat that fuel economy. I wish the Cascadias were priced the way the Macks are. I'd be buying all that, but it's like I said, you got to start somewhere. Jackknife says you could try giving one of the international LTs a try. They seem reasonably priced considering the market. I've been kind of soured to the internationals. But honestly, a lot of that was due to the Max Force. I really haven't looked into the A26 engine or whatever. I know you can get them with the Cummins too. I like Cummins. I just feel like they're behind in fuel economy of where they should be after all these years. Cummins has been around a very long time. I kind of feel like their fuel economy should be better than it is by now. Paul Harris says, I would not drive a gray truck. Well, everybody's got to draw the line somewhere. Jackknife TV says, when I set up a truck, it comes with an inverter. Yeah, that truck has an APU on it. It's got an electric APU. It does not work. It has power. The display comes on. I don't know much about those electric APUs. The last truck had one. Well, the first truck had one. It did not work. The driver wanted it to work. I could care less. They priced the truck that like the APU did not exist, and he took it in. All it needed was 4 new batteries and clean up all the connections, and it worked after that. But he says they don't cool well. They heat well, but they don't cool well. Cash is King Trucking, my brother. Thanks. About time you come in here, channel member. Everybody check him out. Says, what are you thinking right now? You gonna buy it? I don't know. Jackknife says, when I set up a truck, it comes with an inverter, pure sine wave, 3.4 cubic inch fridge, the ones with the big freezer, and a microwave. Yeah, the driver can set it up any way they want. This ain't a prime lease purchase. This is I'm financing the truck for you. Like that's it. Like I'm not getting into all that. Plus, everybody likes their own creature comforts. Set it up the way you want to set it up. Everybody's saying hi. John Garcia says, back on the $800 a week for the Freightliner. I'm working for a carrier that rented from a Ryder, and I'm paying the carrier. I'm weary of them. They don't want to show me the rate cons on any loads. First job. Ooh, if you're on percentage and they won't show you the rate cons, they have to show you the rate cons if you ask. That's the law. That is the law, buddy. And if they're going out of their way not to show it to you, red flag for me, buddy. Watch out for yourself. Watch out for yourself. Nomadic Brit says, I bought my Cascadia 2016 new from Schneider. Has 938,000 miles. Wonder how much it's worth in these crazy prices. I don't know, 6.2, 6.3 million on the low side. Sean Fairman's trucking Laredo to PA. Grade 8 transportation. He's checking in Green Bay. All right. Buried grandpa today at 92 years old. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that. Very sorry to hear that. Seems to be going around. I've buried a couple this year myself. Sad. Oh, Nomadic Brit drove right past me. Missed turning now, so at the customer's 4 mile from Petro. I bet you're at Lafarge, aren't you? You down there at Lafarge? Is it used still Lafarge? It used to be. I don't know. Can't remember what it's called now. They make some kind of clay powder or something, I'm guessing. Shannon Thomas Trucking in the house, channel member. Thanks for coming in. DIY with Q. Advice for a guy trying to get started. Educate yourself. Get all the education you can. Make smart decisions. Don't jump into anything willy-nilly. With half the information. Gather all the information. Make the best decisions you can. Shannon Thomas says, good afternoon. Good afternoon there. Oh, missed that one. Oh, you are the guy from California. Yeah, that's the truck I sent you. Drum Kenworth says, just dropping by to say hi. Thanks for coming in. Brother Craig in here. Thanks for coming in. Bruce S. just did cups and injectors for $28.65. Good price, man. Good price. Nice. Awesome. Sophisticated Redneck says, I never gave them Max the time of day, but they are looking better and better every time I look. Yeah, I mean, their relationship with Volvo, they've shared a lot of technology and a lot of components back and forth. You take the ruggedness of a Mack, and then let's face it, them Volvos are pretty good creature comforts. They kind of got a lot of stuff figured out. They ride nice. Put it all together, that transmission, that automated transmission that they share is a pretty good transmission. Don't get me wrong, you ever got to replace one, it's going to cost you. But you definitely want to take care of it if you got one. Sean says, the way these ships backing up at the port, buy the truck. Yeah, I'm leaning towards that, even if I don't have an immediate use for it. I really am. Nomadic Brit says, I replaced the one box on my Cascadia 3 months ago. It was 14 grand. Yeah, talking to a mechanic, and he says these MP8s have the same after treatment system as the Cummins, and they're one of the more, I don't want to say cheap, but cost-effective repairs as far as all the different after treatment systems. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. So far they've been pretty good. Sean says, I think Fuel Ox definitely burns clean the sensors. I think so too. Like, I'm a big fan of it. It's serving us well, man. Like, it really is. I'll never stop using it in anything. I use it in the reefers now. I put the Infinity Lube in the oil, and I run it in my truck. One of the drivers has been running it. A couple more are starting to, but they're all using the fuel catalyst. They say they like it, makes a difference. So whatever everybody thinks, I'll never stop using it in my stuff. Incidentally, if you might as well plug it, I guess. If you're going to buy it, fuelox.com, use promo code DIYSIM. Get 15% off every order for, I don't know, rest of your life. I don't know, rest of your trucking career. But Sean Fairman says 900,000 on a one box, can't complain. Yeah, that's a darn good. I wouldn't mind, after 900,000, 14 grand for a one box. You got to figure that 900,000 probably brought you close to $2 million, depending on your rates and what you're doing. Roger Morris says, still at Lineage? No, I'm out of there in record time today. Thank God, because man, I had a lot to do. Holy crap. Sophisticated Redneck says it's 336 gears. Okay, yeah. That's kind of what I thought. It was right around there. Hassan Abbas says, how long have you been trucking, sir? 20. Math, numbers. Should have paid attention. 22, going on 23 years, I guess. Oh, Nomadic Brit says, no, I'm at Encapsus Chemical across from the BP. Okay. I know where that is. You delivering there in the morning, or are you camping out there? What are we doing? Because if you're coming back this way, email me, DIYSima@yahoo.com. We're too close not to have breakfast or something. I don't know. Unless you got to go. You got to go. But I got to pick up a load tomorrow, and I got some leeway, so. Trucking with Mr. Coach. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Oh, well, Paul Harris was involved in an accident on 9/20, feeling like he's getting the runaround at the company, workman's comp, and the insurance company that hit me. Any advice? Not looking to win the lotto. Any advice? Yeah, persistence. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. Be concise, be clear, don't whine, state the facts very clearly, but be persistent, man. Because I had an insurance guy tell me one time that the reason they drag their feet is because, honestly, a lot of people give up. A lot of people give up, and then they're off the hook. So just stick with it, do the best you can, watch out for yourself, man. I mean, maybe you need an attorney. I don't know. It might be worth talking to somebody. It's, free consultations. Pick a good one. Maybe that guy, the Hammer. You see that guy on all the billboards? The Hammer. He's gonna hammer everybody. I don't know if I like that. Tiffany Martinez, do you think things are gonna get way worse on parts before it gets better? Yeah, I really do. I did that live stream. It came across pretty negative. That's okay. I don't think I said anything I don't believe to be true. But that's just kind of, it's just kind of a thing where you got to know what's what, so you can watch out for yourself. Make sure you're getting paid. Make sure that you're taken care of. I hope that the system holds up. The parts thing, yes, it is definitely getting worse. And why I say that is just not me sitting here talking smack. When I go to a utility dealer for parts for a trailer, when I go to Fleet Pride, when I go to the Mack dealer, when I go to Freightliner, I talk to these people. I'm like, what are you short on this week? They're like, everything. They're like, last time he's like, dude, we can't even get brake drums. We can get brake shoes, can't get brake drums. I says, have you gotten any knock sensors? He's like, yeah, we got 50 of them in, and we're not telling anybody. Like, we won't sell them over the phone. If people call, we won't say we got them. But if you come in here and your truck needs a knock sensor, like, we'll fix it. But we're not advertising it. He's like, because somebody will call and buy all 50 of them. He's like, it's freaking stupid. It is stupid. And go through, watch the live chat in that live stream I did last weekend, and you tell me if it's getting better. There's guys down for 8 weeks for a $400 part. Yeah, it's stupid. Somebody I was conversing with that works at FedEx said that FedEx can't get parts that they need. They fix the important stuff, and the rest either has to wait or the truck gets parked. What the hell do you think our chances are if FedEx can't get parts? Like, they haul them, for crying out loud. And they're a huge company. So yeah, the parts thing is bad, and it's getting worse. They can't get the parts to build brand new trailers to deliver. I know somebody that is involved in that at a large carrier, ordered hundreds of trailers this year, can't get them delivered, and they jacked the price. Despite having a contract, they jacked the prices up way high, because they can't get the parts to build the brand new trailers. Now, if Utility and Great Dane and Wabash can't get parts to build them, we gonna get parts on the secondary market to fix them? I don't think so. Like, I think the parts thing gets way worse, like way worse. So, what can you do about it? I don't know. If it's common parts, stock up if you can, but you got to be smart about it too, because you want to be buying stuff that you're never going to use, but you're always going to use tires. Maybe in 8 months you're going to need brakes. So I don't know if you can buy the brakes now. You buy them. With all these Macks in the fleet, with 4, maybe 5 now Macks, maybe I pick up some knock sensors and just keep them. I mean, I hate to. I'm small time. I can only inventory so much stuff. But at the same time, I want to stay in business. So, I don't know. Where do you draw the line? I really don't know. I guess everybody's line is different, like Nomadic Brit, at least on the Schneider. He's got Schneider power behind him. So, does he have to stock up on parts? I don't think so. Schneider runs, thousands of Freightliners. at any given time, they probably got a couple hundred of them sitting they could take parts off of. So I don't have a good answer, but just be aware. You know, the reason I did that live stream and talk about, because I just want people to be aware of the situation. I really do. Like, that's half the battle sometimes, is being aware of your surroundings. And you know, we're busy. You haul freight all day. You're tired. You want to go to bed, and a lot of time you don't read the news or whatever. You can easily miss things that are going around you. But just be aware. You know, everybody thinks I'm trying to tell them that rates are going to crash. Well, no, I don't really believe that. You know, people have problem with things I was saying about the rates. You know, I'm just saying, just recognize how artificially high they are. That's all I'm saying. Protect yourself. Like, left to its own devices, it's going to be busy. You know, the port situation, all the equipment falling off the road by attrition. You know, with the part situation, and you're taking equipment off the road every day. We're not adding new equipment. We're losing drivers. I mean, all these things drive rates up. But if that system breaks and that system collapses, and I guess what I'm talking about is people losing their ability to pay. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. You know, everybody thinks these large corporations have endless supplies of money, and they don't. Like, there's tipping points. You know, was this factoring company a start? Are we going to see other factoring companies go down? I don't know, but keep an eye out. Check on, if you're factoring, check on your factoring company. Call them up and say, hey man, what's the situation? Will they tell you the truth? I don't know. But yeah, it's a strange time we live in. It's a very unstable time. And the system is breaking. It really is. I was talking with Paul from Freight Connect. We talk every once in a while. We haven't talked in a few weeks. We talked yesterday, or day before yesterday. And he shares some things with me that, like, Paul's been in the business for probably longer than me, I'm guessing. And he's seen some crazy things. And just kind of being in the capacity that he's in with talking, he talks to a lot of carriers, he talks to a lot of shippers and stuff every day. And he's like, I'm hearing the craziest of things. Like, the craziest of things. I'm like, yeah, it's all real, you know? So, it's cause for concern. Keep an eye on it. The system is fragile. Like the system around us, the supply chain and all that. So, I don't know. It's scary times. I don't like to see people get hurt, so I try to point that out. And I don't want it. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom, but there's too many people, and I say this all the time, especially on YouTube. Like, there's too many people. And it's not a knock on anybody, but only point out the good times and the good stuff. And I think, you know, even especially the older folks. You know, if you're 40 or older, you very well remember 2008 and you know, 2001. Remember after 9/11 how bad the economy got for a while? And in 2008, I had this discussion with Paul about trucks and about, I get emails every day about people getting their own authority, wanting to get in. I get that. I says, remember in 2008 when people were buying houses sight unseen over the phone and paying $20,000 more than asking price, or whatever, $50,000 more than asking price? He's like, yeah. I says, that's happening in trucking right now. I've gotten emails from people in other countries that have never set foot in the United States, never intend to set foot in the United States, and want me to help them set up their trucking company. I'm like, no, you don't even know anything about it. How are you you can't even operate safely. How are you gonna hire drivers and road test them? You have no ability to do any of this. And then people that, you know, want to get their own authority, and some of the questions they ask, I'm like, no disrespect to you, I'm not, whatever. But like, if you don't know the answer to this simple question, you have no business getting your own authority. You're just seeing that money and you're going after it. Like, so in a way, I kind of relate that to the housing bubble. Remember back in like 08 where, like I said, sight unseen, $50,000 more than asking price? Well, people are jumping into trucking right now, kind of under that same premise. So is that an indication of a bubble in trucking? I don't know. Maybe. You know, they'll do that 30% financing and pay, you know, 50,000 more than a truck is worth. I don't know. Do we have that much time left to recoup that? Probably. Like the way things are, you can recoup that money fast. But it's difficult. Where did I leave off here? Roger Morris says, good to see you in the truck with a smile on your face. Yeah, it's good to be home once in a while. Like I can't do this. I just can't. Like I need to be at the computer, riding that keyboard. But you know, it's part of the thing. You know, when we can't fail on loads. So if something comes up, I had a driver had a bad emergency, had to go home yesterday. I hope everything's working out, but like I had to go trucking. So, you know, I got the tablet here, I got my phone, I got everything I need to get through for a couple days, and you know, the wife will help me out when she can, and we just got to things got to continue. So can I do that every time? No. Well, I don't know, but we got to try. You got to keep the service record up, you know. JK says, I have some good experience hauling reefer loads from the Twin Cities to Chicago. I'm giving some serious thought to coming and helping you out with my chat jumped here. With a lane like that, FYI. All right. Hey, you're right in my neck of the woods. Hey, got reefer experience. That's a good thing. Adam says, Dvorak says, gonna have to check out the fuel ox using max mileage from Pittsburgh Power. Relaxing at the Abbeyland over in Curtis. I was there yesterday. I picked up at Abbeyland, loaded a load of beef up there. The fuel ox compared to Pittsburgh Power, twice as concentrated, half the price. It's a similar chemical, but it's way more concentrated. So plus, well, I'll leave it at that. Truck Diver says, how many dealers replacing one boxes for no reason? I don't know. They almost did it to my buddy Cash. Cash is King Trucking. They tried to do it to him out in Pennsylvania until he pointed out that he had a warranty. And then they're like, oh, well, let's take another look at that. I think it ended up just being a NOx sensor. So, yeah, it does happen, man. And how would you know? Sophisticated Redneck says, do you use the Fuel Ox Infinity Lube in your tractors or just your reefers? In this truck I'm driving, I have it in the crankcase. I have it in both rear ends. I can't remember. No, I did not put it in the transmission yet because I was coming up close to a oil change in the transmission, and I was gonna do it after. But I haven't. Now I drive like I drove the truck like 1,000 miles for the month of September. So I don't know if I will put it in or not, but like one driver's running it in everything except the transmission, so he didn't get around to it yet. He's loving it. I put it in the reefer engine. What else? Pretty much any power steering fluid, put some in there. Yeah, I use it in pretty much everything. I haven't gotten around to it all, and it's like if this truck is gonna sit all the time, I don't know if I'll stick that kind of money into it, but if it's going to move any significant mileage, it's going to have it in it. Jamie O says, this is all political. Everyone needs to get involved. Yeah, I agree. And don't get me wrong, I definitely have my opinions, but there's so much, like, number one, I don't like to argue, especially with truck drivers. I think I told you, Jamie, pardon the language, but arguing with a truck driver is like wrestling a pig in shit. Pretty soon you realize the pig likes it. Like, I think truck drivers like to argue for sport, and I hate that. Oh, I can't stand it. So I don't do it in my videos. And number two, I want everybody to have their own opinion. And number three, like, you can find that anywhere, man. Like, I really believe you need a break from that now and then. So that's kind of my reasons. But I have my opinions, definitely. And I do my thing behind the scenes, and I'm private about that. Truck Diver says, if a dealer tells me I need one box replaced, I will tow it to another dealer for a second opinion. You might oughta. You might, yeah. Nomadic Brit says camping here as I have a 6 a.m. offload, so on my 10 at the moment. All right, well, like I said, email me. I can sit here for a little while. Momentum L says, what's your email? It's DIYsemi@yahoo.com. I have not made any decisions on that truck yet or what I'm doing. I don't know. Like I said, I don't have a trailer even for it yet. Skinny Peter says you should put some of that infinity lube on the sword before you fall on it. Maybe try putting some on there before you stroke the check. All right, buddy. Grumpy Trucker says 2 months back order on electric water pumps for a DD15. Yikes. Yeah, could you imagine spending? So you go buy that 2018 Cascadia for $120,000, and then a $400 water pump puts you out of business for 2 months. I'd be real mad. I'd be madder than like some of the things I've done in my life, some of the awful things, and you tell me and then I'm gonna die because I touched my face. I'd be mad like that kind of mad. Flux RG says, oh yeah, he just bought another Mack truck. Not yet. I don't know. I'm really leaning towards it, but like, I don't know. I kind of feel like too with the situation with the shortages and the all this crap going on, like I kind of feel like whoever has the equipment is going to get the work. I really do feel like that. So is it a bad idea to have the equipment? But then you got to spend the money to get the equipment. It's really a catch-22. I don't know. Freight trucking in here, channel member. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Appreciate it. John Garcia says, guess I need help. Where can I go find a good carrier to work for? 2 months OTR, about 30,000 miles driven, no issues. That 2 months is going to be a hang-up for you, man. You're kind of at the mercy of the mega carriers, I guess. But get your time in. 6 months can make a lot of difference. If you want to go to a smaller carrier, most of them require 2 years minimum, and they can't help it because that's what the insurance company requires. So Bruce S is going to bed. Have a good night. Nomadic Brit says couldn't pick up oil filters at Schneider in Houston. They couldn't say when they were coming in due as they were on back order. Dang. Yeah, I had a driver go for a PM service at a Love's. No filters. Tiffany says, that's why we love listening to you so much. You're always talking about reality, not the YouTube fantasy about trucking. Well, I appreciate that. That's kind of my goal. But you know what? Reality is not always pretty. It's not. And a lot of people don't like that. So it is what it is. I don't care. Jamie O says you can't make the stories up. Yeah, one is as crazy as the next. It is crazy. Nomadic Brit says, where will I be around 9 a.m.? Email me. I don't want to give away my locale, but we'll probably still be pretty close to each other. Love Muhammad says, hey DIY, how you doing? Kelly's Kitchen, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. Jamie O says, watch what you say DIY boss is on the line. She sure is, but I'll take my scolding after I'm done. Know what I mean? Great trucking super chat. Appreciate that, buddy. You sound like a great man of character. Life happens sometimes. Nice to see Big Orange running down the road. I appreciate that. I don't take compliments very well. That makes me uncomfortable. Lance says, buy that Mack for a parts truck. You know, it's gonna happen. But it's too nice a truck to start robbing parts off it. I don't know. It runs great. I don't know. Truck Diver says, I know a friend with a 16 Cascadia went in for a service. No check engine lights. They tell him it needs a 1-box. What? That's ridiculous. I would get the hell out of that dealer. And I would call their corporate and tell them. Boosted Hatch in the house. Thanks for coming in. Georgia Patriot says, just got here. How come you're not in the office? Had to fill in on a couple short loads for somebody who had emergency. So Cash is King Trucking says, anybody want to take some action on whether or not DIY buys this truck? Thanks for the super chat, buddy. He's taking side bets over there, taking some side bets. So Everybody get with Cash is King over on his channel. John Garcia, Kelly says, John Garcia, send DIY an email. All right. Cash is King Trucking says, the shortage is actually helping me. I got my PM done at Love's the other day, and they were out of the lubrifiner filters, so they had to use Detroit filters at no additional cost. That's a good deal. That's quite an upcharge for the Detroit filters. Robert Burns says 51 odds he buys the Mack. All right. Thanks for coming in, Robert. I don't know. We gotta talk it over. Maybe I can drag it out a couple more days. I think I'll go over my list of demands with the salesman and just see what he says. I mean, they already got $2,000 from 2 other guys, so I'm thinking that could come off the purchase price, you know. And then we'll see. We'll negotiate a hostage situation and see if I can get anything else out of them. Probably not. Like, honestly, if I don't buy it, they'll sell it. It'll be gone. It's like they have 11 dealers, and I think they have like 2 or 3 sleeper cabs for sale. They got a bunch of day cabs, but I ain't in the market for a day cab. Not in the market for a day cab. Eric V, what's a 1-box? Freightliner has combined a lot of their after treatment components into kind of like one system here, where you can just, it's called a 1-box. You can pop it off, just slap it on with a new one there. They call it a 1-box. It's pretty pricey. 14 to, I've heard as much as 18,000. So, I don't know. Sean Fairman says Big Orange will be the last truck standing, no parts for her. You know, that's part of the reason I can't bring myself to get rid of this truck. Like, it is so reliable. It's so reliable, and it doesn't need a lot, and it's an older truck, so there's not a lot of demand for the parts. I don't know. It's not. It doesn't let me down. It's hard to let. And it's cheap to own. I think the insurance is $140 a month, and then the plate. So if it just sits in the driveway and I just use it to move trailers around, it's served its purpose. Hassan says, good night. Thanks for all the information. I love this live. I like how you change up topics and conversations. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate that. You have a good night. Oh, Shannon Thomas is taking some of that $5 action on whether or not I buy the truck. I realize if we play the action a certain way, I can influence this outcome and just run. I could take the wagers and run, kind of like one of those YouTube fundraisers where they raise $10,000 for somebody who's in need and then they make off with the money. I hope you guys know that happens sometimes. So be careful who you give money to on YouTube. JK's in. He says, I'm in cash. My money says he makes a purchase. Hopefully he gets the discount that those 2 guys put on the truck already. Yeah, that would help. Sean Fairman says the Davco separator from Detroit is double the price of lubrifiner. Yeah, they're crazy. Well, last I saw is $50 filter. So you know, and that was a few years ago. So it's probably way more than that now. Cassius King says, channel member, appreciate it. Says put a thumbs up in the chat if you think he's gonna buy the truck. That's a lot of thumbs up. Dang, you guys are gonna be real disappointed if I don't. Hassan says, I'm a delivery guy in my own family, own printing business, and I'm a great delivery guy, very thorough. I did a carrier job for 6 months. All right, so you got some, you're out there trucking. Freight Trucking says, thumbs down. He hears another guy is interested. Oh man, he can't get that inside scoop on me, not at least until tomorrow. All right, I got that Nomadic Brit. Sophisticated Redneck says, love LOL at the smile on your face when you start talking about Big Orange. That's how I know you're real. Let me tell you what. Let me tell you about this busted ass Freightliner I drive. I've been thinking about doing a video on this because some people like, oh, why don't you, you know, if you were any kind of this or that or whatever, you drive a real truck, you'd get a better truck for yourself. Even if I didn't have other trucks in the fleet right now, my wife wants me to get rid of this thing in the worst way sometimes. She's like, you're getting rid of that truck, you're getting a newer truck. I'm like, I don't know. When you sit back and think about it, this truck is not comfortable. Like, I've made some improvements, the suspension and the seat, but like the things in my life that this truck has allowed to happen, it gives me kind of an affinity to the truck, but it's also made me like confident in the decision to stick with it. Like, this truck has allowed me to build a home and pay it off. Like, take care of everything at home. It provides everything at home, and like because of this busted ash orange Freightliner truck, it's allowed me to add some more trucks, add some drivers, give them a great opportunity, buy six trailers, and start a carrier and make a real effort at running a legit carrier in a business, all because of this truck. You know, it's made all that possible. And if you look at a piece of equipment that way, rather than just, man, this thing, I gotta find something prettier with a better paint job. Like, a truck is a tool, like a hammer to a carpenter. But look what that hammer does. It builds these giant, magnificent houses. And yeah, would it be better to have an air nailer? Yeah, you can get it done faster and blah blah blah, but you work your way up. I don't know that I'll ever have a fancy, nice truck for myself. I don't require that. But yeah, this truck has made all that stuff possible, and it's earned its place. It's earned its keep, and it serves its purpose. It doesn't have much of a purpose these days, other than to sit in the driveway and when I need to go move a trailer or take something in for service or rescue a load. Doesn't let me down. I'm sure the day will come. Everything has its useful lifespan, but I think that's, to an extent, sometimes the way you got to look at things. Especially, that's how much one decision can change the rest of your life. Like this old orange Schneider Freightliner could provide, if I didn't buy all those trailers and equipment or whatever and put it in retirement, it could provide my whole retirement on short order. You guys know what things are like right now. Like, it's the opportunity out there right now is to change your life drastically, like substantially. But some people won't see it because they got a nitpick because that truck doesn't have power windows or an automatic transmission. And the automatic thing, I understand, like, some people have only driven an automatic and you get your license or whatever, but I don't know, kind of the way I see it. I get behind in the chat here. Jamie O says he likes the truck and it's gray. Gray is popular. Oh, the truck. So I looked in the door jamb, and it's not actually gray. The name of the color is primer. Not even primer gray. Couldn't you come up with a fancier word for it, or a cooler name than primer? I mean, you wouldn't think you'd sell a lot of trucks with a color like primer. But that's all right. Cassius King says, what happened to Freight Truckin's name? I don't know. You'd have to ask him. Nomadic Brit says he had to change the one box and had huge regen problems, codes, etc. Tried everything else, and soon as one box was changed, it goes great. Okay, so maybe you needed that. You probably needed that one box then. Freight Truckin says he needed a change. Oh, it used to be Freight Truckin, now it's just Freight Truckin. I've come to understand it's not Freight Truckin though, it's Fate Truckin. So I've been saying it wrong all these years. Tony says it's a tool. Some tools are better than others. Yeah, you're right, but I think sometimes that perspective gets lost, and it's got to be a pretty tool with a lot of chrome and, I don't know, which I'm not against. Like, if you work your whole life and it's a hobby and you can afford it, like, do it. Make yourself happy. But like, to start off and like, the truck ain't even paid for, something could come up and you don't have the money for an overhaul, like, wait till you're kind of secure to get, it's just my opinion, get some security and some stability before you pretty it up. You get that truck and you pay for it and it's earned its keep, man, you pretty it up all you want. Like that's your trophy now for a job well done. Like paying off a truck is quite an accomplishment. It can be, especially at some of the bigger mega carriers. It can be quite a challenge to complete that lease. Kelly's Kitchen says hit that like button. Appreciate it. Yeah, everybody hit the like button if you would. Helps the algorithm get into more people. Shannon Thomas says hashtag truck love. I don't know. Hashtag truck appreciation, at least at the minimum. Brother Craig says old school Freightliners have built many motor carriers. You're exactly right. There's a reason why most of the bigger fleets run mostly Freightliners. It's a numbers thing. They know every freaking number there is to know, and they know that the Freightliner gives you the best numbers. Is it the perfect truck? No. Is it the quality of a Peterbilt? Well, no. But they're in business to make money. So Cassius King Trucking says, just so everyone knows, DIY can call Big Orange busted, but we can't. That's right. Don't anybody talk bad about Big Orange. Jerome Jones in the house, channel member. Thank you, buddy. Says, what's up? Sorry I'm late. There's going to be a $300 late fee, Jerome Jones. Jerome Jones, we like to affectionately refer to him as Big Money. And we're doing lineage logistics rules today. $300 late fee. And if the broker missed the last pickup and rescheduled it and never told the new carrier, there's also going to be a $305 reschedule fee. Now that extra $5 is a convenience fee, right? For having to take a com check or an EFS check. So it's going to be a pretty steep fee for being late. Nomadic Brit says, my clothing is the same as the truck, just saying. Yeah, that's camouflage right there. My seatbelt is also orange. So, I'm well camouflaged in here. I look like a floating head if you look through the windshield. Boosted Hatch says, is it good to have a dispatch service and being a new owner-operator and having your own authority to book your own loads? It's not bad. You just don't pay too much. It's sometimes it's worth the money because you got to sit behind a wheel all day. You don't have time to be online all day looking for loads. So a good dispatch service, like there's a lot of in the last year, everybody has started a dispatch service because let's face it, money, blah, 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 whatever. And a lot of them are overseas. But if you're going to get dispatch service, find somebody that's been around a long time and knows this business. Like some of these people doing this right now, I don't know if they know what a truck looks like. Be honest with you. They just read online you could be a dispatch service and make all kinds of money. And they could hang you with some bad loads. Find somebody that's an ace at it. Been doing it a long time. I've thought about doing something like that, but I don't have the time, and I'm not going to do anything to take away from the guys that haul for me. They deserve my full attention. So, Sophisticated Redneck says that truck is invaluable. It's the cornerstone that all your success is built on. Don't let her go. Yeah, it's kind of how it is. now Shannon's taking action on whether or not I let go of this one. I wouldn't put money on that. I'll tell you that. But oftentimes I can be overruled by my wife, and if she says it's got to go, it's got to go. I've also thought about buying that gray truck from me and selling this one because glider kits are going for ridiculous amounts of money right now, and I could probably sell this thing for a lot of money. But yeah, I like it. Ukiman says, where do I get a dry van? Good luck. Good luck, my friend. Good luck. I would probably buy a dry van if I could find one, but I can't even find a dry van. I mean, you can find old stuff. I got leads on 2 trailers right now, an 06 and an 09. I really wanted something newer because it can be a problem loading those trailers at some places. But they're not going anywhere for the time being. So I don't know. Steve says he bought a 2003 Peterbilt 387 with a 6NZ Cat, 558,000 original miles for $13,500 back in 2015. ran it to 1,050,000 with very minor issues. It's an ugly duckling, but stupid dependable. Yeah, it is. Back before I knew a thing or two about a thing or two, I had a 2003 Freightliner with a 6NZ cat in it. And looking back, knowing what I know now, I kicked myself for getting rid of that truck. If nothing else, I should have took the engine out and scrapped the truck and just kept the engine. But hindsight's 2020, and that was one hell of a motor. Imagine the motor still runs today. The truck is probably sitting in Russia right now. I don't know, rusted out or something, but that motor's probably still running. I rebuilt that thing. Says he paid, Peterbilt paid for a 07 W900 with a cat and driver running the 387. 387 runs very well. Okay. Jerome Jones says, wait, I'm big money? I'm trying to get where you and Cassius King is at. Now you're in the big money club, Jerome Jones. You're part of the club. Kelly's Kitchen says, pretty sure I'd be out the door before Big Orange. Nah, I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't count on it. That's my wife there. She's a keeper. Everybody check out her channel. She's got a channel. Too busy to make videos these days, but definitely got a channel. Matic Brit says, paid off my truck last October. Yeah, I remember that. That's congratulations on that. That's a big... Tell me that ain't a life-changing event. Trucking without a truck payment, especially with these rates. Damn. Tell me that's not a game changer. I don't care. Obviously, you got to replace the truck someday, but you're going to enjoy it while you that period between paying off a truck and having to get another one. You're going to enjoy, and maybe you save up and pay cash for that next truck, and never have a truck payment again. That's living right there. Cassius King says, everybody put a thumbs down in the chat if you think DIY will never get rid of Big Orange. Yeah, I don't know. I might be buried in here. Maybe sooner than later. Wife might kill me. I don't know. I deserve it sometimes. Love Muhammad says, I saw a 2009 dry van with spring ride sold on auction for $21,000. I tell you what, everybody's running to auctions to buy equipment. There ain't, as far as I'm concerned, there ain't no deals at auctions right now. The last few I've watched, the prices were every bit as much as on a dealer lot, and you have a lot of times you don't have the right to inspect them because they won't let you on the property because of the whole thing, whatever. Last time I said that word in my last live stream and I got demonetized, so we're gonna wander around the edge of that. The current situation, we'll call it. So yeah, auctions, and I was always of the theory that auctions are the place where you sell equipment, not buy equipment, because a lot of places send their problems to auction. So I don't know. Not that you can't get good deals and good equipment. You absolutely can. Sometimes they do fleet dispersals at auction, and hell, you can pick up a good deal, but I want the chance to look at it first and inspect it. But Roby Miami says he was going to bed, but now he's got to watch me because we're live. All right, Cassius King Trucking says there's a guy leased on where I'm at that has a Freightliner with a 6NZ. Nice. That's what I had, was a Columbia with a 6NZ. It came off of the fleet from ATS, Anderson Transportation, up there in St. Cloud. Is who owned it, traded it in. Kelly's Kitchen says, I'm a keeper only because I cook. Well, and you take care of my dog. Let's be honest, you take care of my dog. Tell her I said hi. Daddy will be home soon, by the way. Lots of thumbs down in here. The Matic Brit says I use old Schneider trucks for tanker training. Okay. All right. 83 in here, so looking for 83 thumbs up. I appreciate that. John Garcia says, really like learning from this channel. I'll shoot you an email on my situation. It's crazy, but you've probably seen it many times. Maybe. I don't know. I got a lot of crazy emails. Like, there's some people that have been through some stuff, man. They've been through some things. Some make it, some don't. But there's some shysters in this industry, man. There's some shysters, I'll tell you that. Some people can really get taken advantage of, but I guess maybe you have that in every industry. I don't know. Jerome Jones says, 2011 Peterbilt 386. First truck to pay for in cash, now putting a lot of money on maintenance. Yeah, I've never really minded spending money on maintenance. You're getting something for it. It's that maintenance, the kind of maintenance that I hate is the kind of maintenance where, like, you take it in for something, you put this money into it, and they didn't really fix the problem, and then you got to go back again and blah blah blah. I hate that kind of maintenance. But like maintenance that actually fixes something and I'm better off for it, never really minded that. With any old truck, there comes a point, everybody uses the term nickel and dime. I hate that, because nickel and dime I don't mind paying for. That's just part of equipment. You got to fix it. It breaks. It's the stupid stuff. I don't even really mind an overhaul, but it's that stupid stuff that nobody can seem to fix, and there seems to be a lot of that on the modern emissions trucks. That's what drives me nuts. Ali says that Columbia is a real moneymaker. I have one, easy to work on. Yeah, it's pretty easy to work on, and anybody that went to diesel school probably cut their teeth on a Detroit 60 series or a Cummins N14 or a Cat 3406. So a lot of people know how to work on them. That's a big bonus. They don't have to sit around and put 17 hours of diagnostic time in it to figure out that it's a bad whirly-majig sensor when your crankshaft position sensor, right? Here's a new one, put it in. Easy. There's only so many sensors on these motors. Roman Empire's in the house. It says, hey brother, how are you? We're doing good. We're out in a truck tonight. I think 2 weeks ago I had to go on an overnighter to Minnesota, and that was the first time I slept in the truck in probably, I'd say three months. So I don't know. It's hard. It was on the road pretty steady for 21 years, and it's hard to just turn it off like that. Like every once in a while, you get that urge. You gotta go scratch that itch, and this is enough. Like today was a rough day. Like I had a lot of things go wrong with some loads, and even I had a load cancel on me. I showed up to pick up a damn load, and they canceled it. They said, no, load's canceled. I'm like, well, thanks for freaking telling somebody, you jackwagon. Niagara water. Now, when you pull up, everybody been to a Niagara water, you pull up, you press the intercom button and talk to somebody. I believe that is now outsourced to, I don't know, Pakistan or India. The guy had chickens crowing in the background, and I'm looking at the guard shack where they used to sit. There ain't no chickens in that guard shack. So he's out of this country somewhere. So I don't know what's going on there. Don't know what's going on there. Ali says, anybody in Seattle? I heard loads are paying $9,000 to the Midwest. Booked a load last week from, hell, I don't remember, somewhere in Washington. Load of onions going to, where did we go with that? Virginia? For $9,500. There was loads to like Massachusetts and Maine paying $12,000, but the scheduling didn't quite work out with those. Midwest, you could get 6 to the Midwest. Depends on where it goes. Blah blah blah, and it depends on the day, how many trucks are in that area in that day. So on a Friday, you're gonna get that money on a Friday. But if you're there on like a Wednesday, you might get a little bit less. But regardless, hey, $3.50 a mile to go cross country. That's pretty substantial. That would probably normally, on produce season they pay pretty good, but that same run, I don't know, probably $6,000. Probably where it would normally be around. But we're definitely gonna take it while it's there. David Mabuti says, great channel. What are you doing in your truck? You should be home running your fleet. Yeah, but sometimes sometimes you got to fill in, you know? Sometimes you got to fill in. Elite says, like this video, guys. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Elite 809. Skinny Peters wants to know, which do I prefer, mobile Delvac or CBD oil? I think in the truck we're going to go with that mobile Delvac, if given the choice between that and CBD. For my sore knees and back, maybe CBD, but we ain't doing that either because I don't need to fail a drug test. Roby Miami says, the KW T680, I have a PACCAR engine but has a little leak on the rear seal, and 6x2 with super singles, $45,000, any 700,000 miles, any advice? Oof. What year? You know, the PACCAR engine, the newer ones have come, they're come a long way. They're a lot better. Older PACCARs, I know like 3 guys that have made boat anchors out of their engines. Spun bearings, 500,000 to 600,000 miles. All 3 of them. You're at 700,000. I don't know. Air leak doesn't really concern me. Air leaks are fixable. 6x2, I don't know, you know, are you running a lot of winter? Super singles, that's personal preference. I don't know, 45,000. I don't necessarily like the specs, to be honest with you. At any price, really. It would have to be a pretty good price. Have you ever driven a 6x2? Let's start with that. I have, being that, you know, in a lot of snow and ice, did have some problems with it. So, I don't know. Trucker Invest says, just bought a 2011 orange freight shaker and I'm loving it, serving me well so far. All right, good deal. Schneider truck, was it? A Roflo dude is laughing at me. I'm just kidding. JK says, I've always wondered what schools or certifying standards put out the best mechanics. I don't know. To me, like, on-the-job training is the way to go. Like, stand next to a dude who knows what he's doing, pay attention, roll up your sleeves, and have the dude show you how to fix some stuff, like an old-school mechanic. Those are the guys I like. You know, given the choice, that's who I'd want working on my stuff. Like, that jack of all trades that can fix anything. He'll work on diesel engines in the day, and then at night he's tearing apart, like, I don't know, air conditioners and air compressors and fixing all kinds of crap for his neighbors. That's my kind of mechanic. But unfortunately now we're in a world where they got to be able to hook up and read all the computer crap, and I hate that it's come to that. It's just put some really good mechanics out the pasture, you know. Yeah, maintenance is the cost of doing business. You're right. Roby says it's 2016 and always working on south. Okay, well that changes things a lot. If you're in the south, 6x2, hey. And there's a company up in Superior, Wisconsin that had a lot of 6x2s for a while, and that's bad weather, but they got away from that. Decided that it wasn't worth it with the tow bills. But in the south, hey, that's different. And you know, if you're gonna buy that PACCAR, just have it checked out. You know, pull some oil samples, pull an ECM report. Just check it out as best you can. Do all the homework you can. Is what you can do. Lawrence says, hello, I just wanted to ask if anyone knows if empty plastic containers are considered essentials load. I don't know. Are they going to a pharmaceutical company? You're gonna put some antibiotics in there? They go into the truck stop to be sold as pee bottles? I don't know. That's above my pay grade. I guess it depends on what they're gonna be used for. Yeah. Roflo dude says, outsourced at the check-in. Yeah, that's, there ain't no chickens in that guard shack. I guarantee you that. Anybody ever call Uber Freight and you can't hardly hear the guy because all the roosters crowing in his freaking, I don't know, sounds like the roosters are in his living room. But maybe they're outside. Maybe he's outside. Hell, I don't know. Maybe that's where he gets the best service with the tin can and string. Trucker Invest says, yeah, it's an SFI truck. Okay, Schneider Finance truck. Okay. Roby says, what about the air leak? Can be a nightmare later. Air leaks are fixable. I mean, there's some air leaks that are difficult to fix. Like, had to fix some on top of the transmission. That can be a bear. What you want to do there is find the skinniest guy you can, give him some wrenches, hold him by his ankles, and shove him between, the frame rail and the fuel tank up on top of the transmission. Hold him by the ankles. Tell him, here, fix that fitting, replace that fitting. When you come out, I'll buy you a cheeseburger, something like that. Air leaks are fixable. Is it a solenoid or something? You're a couple $100. I wouldn't be all that concerned about an air leak. Steve says, stopped for some food at Little America this morning. Came back out and couldn't get into gear. Thinking the clutch went out. Waiting on my driver to come rescue me with my 387. Talk about maintenance. Oh man. Jeepers. Clutch brake maybe. I had a clutch linkage brake on me one time. Where was that? Ohio pushed in the clutch, damn thing went right to the floor. Bushings came out of the end of the linkage. So I whipped into a service plaza, figured out, oh crap, that's what happened. And anytime I needed to stop, I had to shut it off. Float the gears, downshift, get real close, and then just shut it off. And then to start it, I put it in second gear and hit the starter and get her going. But made it to a Petro in Angola, Indiana, Freightliner dealer right next door. Walked up there, got a new clutch linkage, and fixed it right in the parking lot. Had to take my fairings off and go over the fuel tank. That rear end was a little different, but we got her. Took me a couple hours, but saved a ton of money and probably 2 days of downtime waiting to get into Freightliner. So you're not. There's some downsides to an automatic. You're not going to do something like that. But Roby says, no, air leak is the rear seal. Okay, I don't know. Air leaking out of the rear main seal, that would be oil. I don't know what we might be talking about different things. Have it looked at, get an estimate. Best thing you can do if it's of that concern to you. Allie says even the dealer doesn't like to work on a PACCAR engine, let alone local shops. Yeah, I'm not a fan. Like I said, the newer ones, I hear tell it's a very different story, and they get good fuel economy. But the older ones, I'm not a big fan of the first models of anything. Doesn't really matter what it is. Just me. Jerome Jones says, yeah, at Niagara in Imperial, PA, it's the same way, but I didn't hear no chickens. All right. Okay. Amazing how they can do that. I don't care for it, but I've heard some fast food restaurants are like that now when you pull up to the drive-thru. Like you're actually talking to somebody who the hell knows where. But Eric V says, what are some uncommon preventive maintenance that you do? Uncommon stuff? Oh, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I don't know what uncommon things. I mean, obviously the common things, I don't know. I'd have to think about some uncommon things. I'm a big fan of prevent. Okay. I got it. So, like the airline industry. If anybody knows about the airline industry, like preventive maintenance is a real thing in that industry. Like we call getting an oil change a PM or this or that a preventive maintenance. We got nothing on the aviation industry. Like if a say I don't know, alternator, goes out on a jet, obviously they probably don't have alternators. I'm just using that as an example. Alternator goes out on a freaking plane, it falls out of the sky. So the aviation industry comes up with, I forget what the term for it is, but like expected lifespan of every single component in that plane, right? And that component does not go past that lifespan, even if it works like a charm, like if, say, an alternator, whatever, is at its designated hours, it is gone and out of that plane, like replaced. I think that like trucking industry could learn a lot from that. As far as, especially like the simple components, water pumps, alternator, starter, things like that. Like if you're 900,000 miles and these things are original and you're sitting on a bunch of money, like, I don't know, especially in today's world where, you're rolling down the road and you crap out an alternator and you got a auto shift transmission, and now your transmission won't shift because you don't have any voltage. So you're 10 miles from that Walmart and you miss that appointment and you got to get your appointment rescheduled for 5 days later, and it's 110 degrees outside and you're at a 10 below zero reefer load and you're going to burn all that reefer fuel and miss all that time. I like to weigh all these things out when I'm thinking about this. So, if you're at 900,000 and you got a whole bunch of little components that have never been replaced, and you got the money, maybe instead of chroming out your dash, maybe you put a new air dryer on. Maybe you go ahead and replace that oil cooler. Maybe you put that starter on, an alternator. The simple things that can just leave you stranded. I'm a big fan of that. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I don't know. I do it. I can honestly say, in the 800,000 miles I've owned this truck, it has never been on a hook. It's never been towed. So, I mean, it counts for something. Would it have been otherwise? I don't know. But, that's what I'm doing. Now you got to weigh it out. Does it make sense to replace a $5,000 item? Probably not. But, if you're at the Freightliner dealer one time and you're like, oh, hell, they got starters on sale this month for $230. We gotta just pick one up, keep it in the truck. You're gonna need it eventually. Especially these days, having the damn parts is half the battle. Man. David says, I can't remember, but how many years have you had your own authority? 2005 is when I got my authority. 2005. I think it was September or October. I don't remember. 2005. Roby Miami says, the truck have a rear seal leak. So tiny leak. Not even a drop on the ground. There's a little wet on there. Sorry if I confused you. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the thing about an oil leak. A little bit of oil looks really bad. An oil pan gasket can leak. Like, this thing has, for the front cover, you got the front of the front cover, and then you got the mating surface where the front cover mates to the block. Down on the bottom there by the oil pan, I have a small leak. I've never, between oil changes or whatever, I don't add any oil to this truck. But you'd swear I'm losing a gallon a day. Like, a little bit of oil looks really bad. So to do that rear main seal, you're looking at, you got to drop the transmission. While you have it off, you might as well put a clutch in it. So you're talking about a major repair. If it's not a problem, is it a problem with the DOT? Yeah, kinda. But I don't know. Most trucks have an oil leak. So if it's a Detroit, or if it ain't leaking oil, it's not a Detroit. I think that's what they say. Like Series 60s leak all the time. But I don't think it would be a deal breaker. With 700,000 miles, you're probably gonna put a clutch in it eventually. You do that rear seal when you got the clutch off. It is what it is. If it is the rear seal, it might be the bell housing. I don't know. Get an estimate if you're concerned about it. Steve says, I tried to put it in gear and start it, but it started pulling, and I think I burned up the starter. Yeah, I'm familiar with Angola, Indiana. I'm from Shipshewana. I grew up in Amish there. Oh man. All right. Well, sorry about your starter. I'm glad that I didn't suggest that to you, and then you go burn up your starter, because I'd kind of feel bad. Joshua Morales says, "Are Macks good trucks?" You know, it's a matter of opinion. Like a lot of trucks are good trucks, how they're treated, but never really saw a lot of Macks for over the road. But I tell you what, probably better than half the vocational trucks on the road are Macks. Your logging trucks, your off-road, you know, a lot of dump trucks, milk haulers, anything they use for vocational where that truck takes a beating. A lot of them are Macks, and then probably a good percentage of them are Kenworths too. So I think they're rugged. You know, I think they're durable. Everybody's idea of a good truck is a little different. So there's that. Robert Burns says the rear main oil leak will get worse when the truck is running all day and hot. Have to remove the transmission and clutch, usually about $100 seal, but a whole day of labor. Yeah, it's going to cost you, like, I don't know, depends on where you have it done. If you have an independent shop, it'll be less, but at a dealer, that rear seal leak, you're probably going to be $5,000-$6,000, because if you're dropping the transmission, you'd be dumb not to put a clutch in it. And then, you know, input shaft for the transmission, you know, resurface the flywheel. It's 700,000 miles. You're probably going to resurface the flywheel, unless there's been a clutch done recently. I don't know, but and then your seal, you know. So it's one of those things where it's all labor. So if you're dropping a transmission, it only makes sense to do these other things. They're cheap, and the job is all labor. So you'd be kind of, I think, mistaken not to do it. But that's just my opinion. Bill Dornan in the house, new subscriber. Appreciate you coming in from Sunshine Coast, British Columbia. Wow. I've been up to Victoria Island up there in the truck. Put the truck on a ferry from somewhere in Washington. I can't even remember. And went up to Vancouver Island and made some deliveries. Done that 3 times. Don't want to do it again. Not a big fan of boats, not a big fan of the water. But at the time I was working for somebody else, and they made me do it. Don't like that feeling of driving the truck on a ship. They put a big old dock plate, and you can see over both sides into the water. You hit that dock plate, and when you get some weight on the ship, the boat goes like that, and it's like, oh geez, I'm gonna die. Today's the day I die. I'm gonna fall in the water, and a shark is gonna eat me. But I guess I'm still here. Let's see here. David says, have you ever changed a gearbox on a reefer? I have a small leak from the gearbox. I just noticed on a 2009 Carrier 2100. You mean the compressor? Talking about the compressor? I have not changed one. If you're gonna mess with the compressor, you need to have somebody do it. You got to have that refrigerant professionally evacuated or sent up into the upper unit. Don't mess with that. You get hurt. You get that refrigerant in your eyes, you'll be blind. Plus, it's kind of expensive to put a compressor on. I'll be honest with you. Nomadic Brit says your average dealer is 135 to 175 an hour. Plus, some dealers are severely backed up. Yeah, you got that right. Definitely got that right. Emil from Sweden. Well, hello, Sweden. Thanks for stopping in. Ali says, do they have maintenance records to know what they have done to the truck? Yeah, definitely look into that too. Pull an ECM report. Do all the tests you can. Pressurize the coolant system. Have them put some pressure on there and see if you lose any coolant. Roby says, that's what I thought. Thanks for the answer. Hope don't bother you. No, your questions don't bother me. Don't bother me at all. That's what we do here. That's why we do this. I'm not always right, but chances are somebody in here will be or can help you out if I can. I don't know. Joshua says, you buy another Mack? Not yet. Not yet. Trailer Mechanic says, looking for used reefers? Yes, I am. I am. What you got? What you got for me? G-Star says, hey, Mr. DIY, how you been? Did you finish the truck shop yet? I did. The shop is done. However, there's no electricity, and there might not be for a while because when you build something like that, you have to pay for it, and that's puts a crunch on everything else. Don't even have the final bill for it yet, and I'm not begging for it. He can take his time. Maybe he'll forget. I don't know. But and then I have to put some kind of approach to it where the concrete slab is for the shed. There's a drop off of probably 12-13 inches. So either I got to bring in some fill and put some rock in there, or the original plan was make a concrete approach, but I had to nix that because the cost was getting out of control. So we'll get that done, hopefully sooner than later, and then we can start actually using it. It's filling up quick, I'll tell you that. Cassius King says, I had a gearbox go out on a reefer, had to let it run until I got offloaded, totally destroyed it, but that's what I was told to do. Ooh, man, that was a expensive fix. Man. G-Star says, hey, cash reefer guy. Alright. Roby says, October 6th, I need to decide if I go with the 6x2 with that leak on my first truck and own authority. Oh, I don't know you're going, like, is that how you want to start your own authority with problems? You know, maybe you got a stack of money. I don't know. But that changes things, you know. You'll realize when you get your own authority, like, how alone you truly are. Like, there's nobody to call. Like, obviously there's people to call. You call shops, you call this person, that person, but there's no 1-800 help me number. Like, I did a video about that one time. You know, I might be a walking contradiction because, like, I tell people, like, how to get your own authority, this and that, but then sometimes I feel like I do my best to talk them out of it, and that's not my intent. Like, my intent is to, like, make you aware. Like, stuff is real, man. Like, you get your own authority, you can lose your house, you can lose everything. You know, it's risky. It's not without, everything's risky, don't get me wrong, but like you can be sued for non-performance. You know what I mean? You have responsibilities that you can never dream of. So I just want people to know that, like if there's an incident or an accident, it's all you. It's all you, man. And you break down with a load on a trailer, and you one truck, like, it costs you thousands. Like, they think, oh, well, we'll have somebody come get it, or I'll rent a truck. Try renting a truck right now. Like, there's no trucks to be had. There's nothing to rent. Like, and you could get big fines. I believe there was a YouTuber that just had that happen. I didn't see it personally, but I believe it cost them something like $8,000 to rescue that load. So now you got a truck that's down, hopefully not a catastrophic failure, and you got to pay $8,000 out of pocket to get this load taken care of, and hope that if they send somebody to pick it up, hope they don't mess up your trailer. Hope you get your trailer back. You know, so am I a walking contradiction in that? If that's what it makes me, I don't know. But I want everybody to know the truth. Like, I've been through some things. I've been pretty fortunate. I will say that. Like, maybe it's because of my, like, I don't know, anxiety of, like, making sure things are taken care of or something, or following up, or persistence, and just, like, not trusting anybody to do their job or to hold up their end of the bargain. Like, I rarely trust anybody. And I'm always checking on things. Maybe that's how I've stayed out of a lot of problems. But y'all got to recognize there's a certain degree of luck. Like, I bought this orange truck and did a certain amount of inspection stuff on it, whatever. Schneider would not let me leave the property with it, blah, blah, blah. But it was the right deal, the right truck at the right time. and within a week, I had to do an overhaul. It had a scored cylinder, and a fine crack in the head, so small it was hard to find it. Anyway, I owned it for 6 months that year. I bought it in the middle of the year, and in that first 6 months, it was $42,000 in maintenance. I survived it. I don't know how, but that was rough. That was rough. So I don't know. Does everybody tell you how bad it can be? I don't know that everybody does, and that's YouTube, man. It doesn't. That doesn't play on YouTube. Bad news doesn't play. Like, reality doesn't play. What plays is I got $9 a mile on every load that I haul. When number one, that's not true, and number two, probably not because you're smart or you're smarter than everybody else. You're benefiting from circumstance. We're all benefiting from circumstance right now. Circumstance is that's what the brokers have to pay to get things done. If it was a situation where they didn't have to pay, you could be the smartest guy out here, and you're not going to talk them up to $9 a mile. So, don't be thinking that you're something special. But that's what gets views on YouTube, so that's what people do, because YouTube can pay real money sometimes. More power to them. I get it. But we all need to get it. So I don't know. There's people on here that are real. There's plenty of them, but and they put out great information. But man, R. McGuire, tell them my story starting out. So that's a friend of mine. He started out. He paid cash for a truck at auction. I bear part of that responsibility. I showed him the truck. I pointed it out. So, bought a truck, drove it for a couple months. PACCAR, one of the guys I know that turned a PACCAR into a boat anchor. Spun bearing. It had some nicky-knack minor stuff along the way, some sensors that were throwing off some different things, and they were very random and very intermittent until that day when the truck turned into a boat anchor. So, I forgot that's not the whole story. So the truck was going to get a new engine. I had it towed out of Kenworth. It was a T600, whatever. Sent it to a shop to get a new engine put in. Was going to put an N14, had an N14 crate motor. Put that in. They got it all set up, and called up R. McGuire and said, your truck's ready to pick up tomorrow. All we got to do is test drive it, make sure everything's good. Why don't you plan to be here in the morning to pick up your new truck? It's done, dog. What was it? $28,000 to put a new crate motor N14 in this truck. It was going to be a badass truck. Phone call the next morning. Oh, man. Don't know how to tell you this, but last night our shop burned down with your truck in it. Like, your truck burned down last night in our shop. Like, your truck didn't start the fire. Somebody left the heater on, burned our shop to the ground. Your truck was in it. Like, the truck was done. So now this guy's got a truck where and all this time he's been paying for all these repairs and renting a truck to keep operating. $100 a day his carrier was leasing him a truck. Tell me, how many people survived that one? Now he came out okay on that because insurance paid out well, but and then was able to move on to the next truck. But I tell you what, that's a hell of a thing to go through when you're first starting off. That stuff happens, man. It happens. So, hey, Dramatic Brit says, DIY is better to tell people the truth based on experience so people know what to expect. That's why I emphasize on the freight race how I come to my net figures. Yeah, it is. The truth is important. Like, plan for the worst, hope for the best is kind of a good approach. JK says, if I joined up with you with a day cab, would be able to make some good things happen. Just thinking out loud. I don't know. I never really thought about it. Good things happen all over the place right now. Like, I can learn new things. Like, I have no experience like with freight out west. I don't go out west, but recently took on somebody that lives in Nevada, and like having to learn that market. And thank God things are good right now, because like that's a dog crap market in normal times, but you know, we're learning some different lanes. I don't know, I'm not afraid to try things, but I make like I think when somebody comes and they come for, I call it re-education, not orientation, re-education. I think they kind of get the impression like, are you trying to talk me out of this? Like all this stuff you're saying, like you make it sound like the worst thing in the world. I'm like, no, I just like, I don't make promises. Like I like under promise, over deliver. But you got to know business is risky. You got to know. So this is the conversations we have. Trailer Mechanic says we keep 100 reefers going. It takes a lot of work. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's maintaining a fleet of trailers is more expensive than I thought it was going to be. I'll tell you that. That's an experience in its own. Like trying to keep up on trailers you don't see all the time. It's tough. It's a learning experience, but we're learning. We're learning. Emil says American Truck Simulator, 1999. All right. G-Star says best reefer I ever had was a Thermo King. Note, carriers are trash. No, man, I don't believe carrier. Like I prefer a carrier. The new Thermo King is the Precedent S series. I wouldn't touch one with that emission system on there. C series, I'd take a C series. I like the older Thermo Kings. You know, the SB, all the way from the 200s up to the 300s and the various models in between. I love my carriers. I got 3 of them. A 7500 X4, a 7300 X4, and a 2100A, and they've all been great. They're great units. Like I prefer that at this point. But you know, everybody's got their reasons. I guess if you have a bad experience, then you're probably gonna be a little jaded. Trailer Mechanic says carriers cool faster. Yeah, that 7500 cools like a beast. Like a beast. Trailer Mechanic says Thermo King and Carrier about the same quality. Yeah, they all have their little intricacies. Like I said, I don't like the Precedent, you know, S600s and S700s. That is a high dollar PM service because they take that EGR apart and clean it and blah blah blah. I don't know why they ever thought they needed to put EGR on a reefer unit. That's stupid if you ask me. Like Sean Allen in the house says hi. Thanks for coming in. Ale says 700,000 miles on a PACCAR engine with a leak is maybe. Yeah, it's right up there. Mark Perkins says, what is a charter member and why do some people give money? Oh, a channel member, you mean? I don't know, they just join. I do my channel memberships a little differently. There's 3 levels, one $3.99. Like some people just want to support the channel, or they appreciate the entertainment or talk or whatever, or information. They say, hey, here's $3 a month, you know, whatever. And then I have a second tier where I actually start providing things. Like second tier, $7.99 a month. I do monthly safety meetings to help you meet your requirement. If you have your own authority or have drivers working for you, you're legally required to do safety meetings. So I put out a safety meeting every month. And sometimes some members only posts, whatever. And then I have people routinely ask for one-on-one consultations. So I have a level where I do that once a month. And I priced it so that nobody will buy it because I never thought anybody would. But some people do. And I'm happy to do it. So I don't really make anything. You know, it's YouTube keeps about half of it. So whatever. But it's... I keep getting some text messages here. You all should be watching this live instead of texting me. But that's what my channel. I try to make it so you get something for your money. But there's a join button right next to my channel name. It's if you choose to. I don't really promote it. Elite 809 says if you have LLC, can you still get sued for your belongings? Yes. LLC does not provide you much protection. That's a myth. Especially if you're the one behind the wheel. You know, if you're not the one making the day-to-day decisions or driving, you can make a case. But most people don't run an LLC right to provide you any protection. It's kind of a formality. They'll walk right through and a lawyer will walk right through an LLC with no problem. especially if you're behind the wheel, it provides you no protection because you made all the decisions. But it's some places want to see that you're a formal business to do business with you, like an LLC makes you look a little bit more professional, whatever. It's not as what a lot of people think it is. It's not a corporation, by the way. An LLC is a limited liability company. It is not a limited liability corporation. Roflo says their insurance would be a target for sure. Okay. Mark says, do you prefer duals over super singles? What's your favorite tire? I prefer duals over super. I bought a trailer with super singles and I kind of regret it, but in this market, like, I needed a trailer bad and that was what was available, so I bought it, and I'm not happy with them. What is my favorite tire? Right now it's Yokohama. Bang for your buck. Like, their rolling resistance on steer tires, the 101ZL Yokohama is 2 points lower than the Michelin, was it XZA Energy? Is that what it is? X-Line Energy. And about half the price on my national account. So, whatever. And had two recent catastrophic failures with Virgin Michelin tires. For that kind of price, that should not happen. And what else? Yeah, and they seem to be good tires. They're doing very well for me. I've been running them on my drives for years. So right now, that's my favorite. Roby says, I follow you and glad your honesty, but I am a year and a half paying 60. Oh, you had to be a typo. $6,200 a month for a prime lease truck. I don't know, man. I don't know either. $6,200 a month? This other dude is paying $800 a week, and he thought that was a lot. That this Mack in my thumbnail would work out to about probably $1,100 a month. So you're paying $6,200 a month for a prime. I'm not ripping on you. We're just doing some quick math here. I don't know. Honestly, don't know how you're making it, dude. Like, I don't know what your income is at Prime. I have no. I don't know a lot about the mega carriers deals. I just know that, like, this kind of thing, $6,200 a month. They're not making money hauling freight, dude. They're making you money leasing you that truck. I don't think that's a good deal for you, man. Like, own your asset. Like, control your own asset, man. Maybe you don't have the ability. Like, work into it. Like, I get it. You start where you are, but try to work away from that. I would say, is my opinion. G-Star says elite. Separate the two then. Okay, I don't know. I missed something there. Oliver 880 says, I would like to make the jump, but now's not the right time. I'm glad you recognize that. Like, some people are making the jump right now. It might not be the right time for them, but everything else be damned, they're jumping into it. Like, there's a lot to be said to wait until the time is right for you. Time is not always right. Even if rates are this high, it might not be the right time for you. Like, maybe you're in a mountain of debt, or you got some family things going on, or your health ain't right. Good for you for recognizing that. David says, it's tough having your own authority, and you're right, it's only you in your pocket. Yeah, and how deep's that pocket, man? You better have deep pocket, or at least access to money. Kelly's Kitchen says, keep hitting the like button, y'all. Appreciate that. Nomadic Brit says, if a super single lets go, you're dead in the water, but duals, you can still limp along. Look at one of my last few videos and see what a super single does. I had a Virgin Michelin super single peel the cap like a retread. It held air. The damn thing held air, but the tread was gone. There's this much. I did a community post. There was this much shoulder on either side, but that tread gone like a recap. But it was still fully aired up. I wouldn't want to be the mechanic to have to touch that tire. I'll tell you that right now. That really upset me. Like, that was a tire that came with the trailer, so I replaced it with a Bridgestone. But now I'm through JB Hunt. I'm getting some really good tire pricing on Goodyear. I'm not a Goodyear fan, but I'm trying out these Goodyears on those super singles because of the pricing they're giving me. So we'll see. I don't know. Big Red Radio Network, thanks for stopping in, says, Elite, if you're the driver, then you are not protected. Yep, that's exactly what we were saying. Yep, it's all... You know what? If you're worried about it, insure yourself out the ass. Buy a little extra insurance. Because they're going to go after your insurance company before they come after you. They're still going to come after you. But, you know, insurance might satisfy them. If you're looking to protect yourself, well, not necessarily now because insurance is expensive, but there's different kinds of insurance you can buy. But LLC is not gonna do it for you. You know, the corporation at a certain point, if you're behind the wheel, it's still you, man. Like S corp, they'll walk through that too, especially if you're not experienced enough to run the S corp right. If you commingle funds and whatever. So there's multiple layers of protection you can do for yourself, but you're still on the hook, I'll be honest with you. Oh, where did we leave off? Allie says, try non-emission engines, Detroit Series 60 or N14 if a starter truck if you can't buy new. I'm rocking a Detroit 60 Series. That's what we're doing. Big Rig Radio says, trailers, have them come back every 90 days for maintenance and inspection so you can see the trailers. Yeah, I'm trying to get them... I'm getting them through more often than that. It just... it's a little out of my comfort zone, to be honest with you. Like, you know, my trailers, I keep an eye on them. I'm still not over that thing yet. Like, you know, I'm still like 9 months into this having people work for me thing, and it's like, sometimes you got to let some things go, like emotionally. Like, these trailers can't be your pets. You know, things are gonna happen, and I've had some things happen to kind of soften me up a little bit on that, but. Like, it's a process. It's a process. So, no matter DIY, are all your trailers reefer? Yes, they are for right now. I'm not opposed to buying dry vans. They just don't exist. Like, if you get a junky 2005 dry van that's in awful shape, you still got to pay a ridiculous amount of money for it. Like, I would rather pay more and get a better trailer, but just as they're not there, like it sucks. It sucks. Roby Miami says, thank you everybody. All right. JK says, I don't think you're discouraging to us drivers who have solid experience. We really understand why you weigh things out the way you do. Well, I appreciate that. I don't always like say things how I think them. Still kind of new at that. Like, I don't know how to express some things, so a lot of times I think they probably do come off wrong, like I'm trying to be discouraging. But I don't know. I just been through some stuff. You know, it's some things you can only learn by having things happen or personal experience. You know, and I know I got to stop saying that. I got to stop saying and I got to stop saying but I can't help it. I'm just a dumb hick. No Matter Brit says, I was at $11.67 a week for lease purchase and maintenance account, so paid off. You can see how much pressure is off as my fixed weekly is now $121 for all my insurances. So you're $1,000 a week to the good, man. Congratulations. Gary Bates says, is $1,000 credit card deep pockets? No, I don't think so, Gary. I think you're going to want to step that up a little bit. Like, if you don't have money, at least have access to it. And however that looks like for you, like credit card, line of credit, I don't know, debit card. Like, have access to money because you're going to need it. You're going to have bad days, man. You might be fine for a while, but then you're going to have like a $20,000 day and be like, oh, this sucks. But in addition to that, have a way to pay for things. Like, I've never really operated on credit cards my whole life. I've kind of been on a downer on credit cards. But eventually I came to the realization, like, I got to have a way to pay for things. Comdata won't give you a $20,000 line to write a check until you're a decent-sized company. You know, I think my check limit with Comdata, I think, is like $1,400. And EFS is worse. They'll only give you like an $800 check. Now, fuel is different. They'll jack your fuel limit up. But I'm like, okay, so, you know, I raised the limit on my debit card as high as they would go to like $6,000. But then I'm like, well, that might not be enough. So I went and got a credit card with like, I don't know, a substantially higher limit. I don't necessarily need to borrow the money, but I like mechanically, how do you pay for things? Like, you're 1,000 miles from home, you're gonna drive home and get a certified check and drive back. Like, you got to have the mechanical way to pay for things. So that kind of changed my mind a little bit. Let's see here. Elite says, if LLC doesn't do it, how can I protect my belongings if I get sued? Corporation? Yeah, we just talked about that, so I think we covered that. Jerome Jones says, quick question, would it be possible for me to get a 48-foot step deck, or is it best to get a 53-foot step deck? I had a 48-foot step deck, bought it brand new in 2007, I think. Utility. That was a nice trailer. I really liked that trailer. It's all what you're gonna be hauling. You're gonna run the spot market. Maybe you want to have some more flexibility. I don't know. The 53 gives you a little more versatility, or maybe you want a 48 with a 3-foot dove. Oh, I lost you there for a second. We're back now. I think California has a problem with 53-foot steps or 53-foot spreads or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it is. Like the spread doesn't count or something like that. I don't know. Redneck says, great live. I appreciate it. Roflo says, as with any business, a good lawyer and insurance. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Like, you gotta have a good team. Like, you need to have a good accountant. Maybe if you don't want to have a lawyer, maybe just know of somebody or have a number. A good mechanic, good insurance person. Like, helps to have a team on your side. Oliver 880 says, a friend of mine went owner operator earlier this year. He is finding out it ain't easy. That's true. And I guess it's better to find out it ain't easy in a market like this where rates are high than to find out it ain't easy like last year when rates were just awful. So at least he's got that going for him. He can keep the truck on the road. Cassius King says, it depends on how many of those $1,000 credit cards you have in your wallet, Gary. Yeah, you want to stack them up. You'd at least, get yourself 50 of them. Elite says, I got lucky on an 08 reefer for 12 grand a few months ago. It did have a lot of hours, about 28,000. Yeah, that's a lot of hours, but I've seen reefers with more. I don't know that I'd trust one with 30,000 hours on it. That's a lot of hours, but it's like everything else, how you take care of it. Your insurance company might not like that, but Big Rig Radio says it will take about 1.5 years to get comfortable with your company equipment being out of your total control. You will start sleeping better at night. I hope so. It's getting better. It gets better all the time. Less phone calls coming in the middle of the night. Guys are learning to handle a lot of their own things. Which, I'd rather take that phone call. I'd rather get that phone call than have somebody, I don't want to say make a mistake, because mistakes are, everybody makes them, but I'd rather have that phone call at 2 a.m. than to have somebody do something bad, or something that takes a lot of fixing in the morning, or it's hard to recover from. But we're all learning. JK says, I have a couple credit cards with $10,000 credit limits on them, good credit scores, has some nice advantages. Okay. I'm not, I don't really use it. It's there. I don't really get into the points and stuff. Don't really care. I don't buy anything anyway. It'd be nice if I could use those points on like truck parts or whatever, but I don't. I know some people want to save up the travel points and take a vacation. Well, I don't go anywhere, so it's just there when I need it. I don't think I've had to use it in that capacity for emergency, but it's got to be there. John Garcia says, I still like using my Fuel Man card to build credit. Much better than using my company fleet card. Okay. All right. Sabsa, hello. Hakeem's in here. Ali says, how's your experience with the Mack truck? Pretty good. Pretty good. Is it everything I want? No. Fuel economy could be better, but it's what makes sense right now. It makes sense. So, you know, like I said, I could buy that 2019 Freightliner for 120, or I could buy 4 of these, and they probably got pretty similar mileage on, you know, 460 instead of 320 for mileage. So, I don't know, and it's a good starter truck for people, you know. They said this gentleman was paying $6,200 a month to prime. Well, you can get into something like that for $1,100 a month. So, you know, I know everybody's like, I gotta have a warranty. I gotta have that new truck for the warranty. Well, that warranty ain't free. You know, it's costing this gentleman the difference between $6,200 and $1,100, $5,100 a month for a warranty. You can take that warranty and shove it squarely where the sun don't shine for $5,100 a month. I mean, honestly, in 3 months you paid for a 1 box anyway with that extra money. So who cares if the 1 box goes out at that point? And things are gonna break, man. Things are gonna break. It's just, so $6,200 a month is probably for 6 years. No, that ain't right. What is it? 4 years? I'll put my window up here. It's getting loud out there. What's the total cost of owning that truck? You know, you paid a lot for that warranty. So I just hope it was in 4 years. How much do you even have any warranty left? But you're still paying $6,200 a month. I don't know. So you're gonna pay for that payment and the maintenance? I don't know. I don't really know how they work their leases. I don't care to know. All I know is it's expensive, and I don't know that it really helps people. I know it helps them. Oliver 80 says, I'm going to stay with the Great Pumpkin until we get divorced, which might be soon. Yeah, I'm keeping this pumpkin too. Sab says, how can I become an owner-operator step by step? That's a big question, way more than we can answer here. And you know what? There's all kinds of ways to do it. There really is. You just got to find what works for you. Okay. Nomadic Brit and Oliver obviously are leased onto the same company there. John Garcia says, would you recommend becoming an owner-operator with another carrier and learning a bit before getting your authority? At least own a truck first? You know, I really like that idea. I'd really encourage people to do that. Like, why not? If you're a new driver, you're gonna make mistakes. If you're new at anything, you're gonna make mistakes. Why not make them on somebody else's dime? And if you're leasing on to somebody, like, they're taking care of a lot of stuff you never know about, so you can concentrate on learning how to own a truck and maintain a truck, and focus on how to buy your fuel the cheapest. There's a lot of things to focus on, and you can learn it, you know, a little bit at a time instead of having it all dumped on your lap at once, and it could be overwhelming and add to your likelihood of failure. So why not ease into it? You know, if it's a good situation for you, a good owner-operator situation. Gary says $10,000 hot shot insurance policy quote today. All right, I don't know anything about hot shotting. I really don't. I see them. I know they exist, but I gotta put this window back down a little bit. It's hot in here. Nomadic Brit says people forget about downtime when it comes to warranty, daily rate, loss, etc. compared to the bill. Yeah, I know people that have like taken their truck in for warranty, and the damn thing will sit there for a month. While, you know, if it's say it's a Kenworth with a Cummins, Kenworth and Cummins will argue back and forth about whose problem it is and who's going to pay for it, who's going to fix it. So you completely lose control over that when you're using warranty. Truck diver warranties are crap. They wiggle out of, squirm out of everything they can. Just keep your money in the bank. Yeah, I mean, to an extent, there are situations where warranty will save the day, but it's all statistics. It's all statistics, and you never really know when you're going to win or lose. That's the thing. I myself have never really benefited from a warranty. so I kind of shy away from them a little bit. That money might be spent better well spent. Is that the right way to say it? Educating yourself on maybe how things work, or maybe how to do a few things yourself. I don't know. That's always education's always a good investment there. Boosted Hatch says, when you buy a used semi truck, when you register it, do you apply for apportioned plates first, or will they give you base plates first and then you apply for apportioned plates? If you're going to drive it over state lines, like over the road semi truck, like, you need apportioned plates. Base plates, that's, people are probably mean apportioned plates when they say that, but if you're going to drive it over the road, you need apportioned plates is what you need. What's the best tanker company? I don't know. Maybe talk to Nomadic Brit about that one. He's a tanker yanker. Elite says he purchased a platinum warranty from NTP. Nothing good to say about it. Okay, I don't know anything about that warranty. Nomadic Brit says Schneider's a good tanker company. Truck Diver says I'm got a warranty that costs $6,000. Keep the money. All right. Andy Espinoza says, how can we sponsor you? I like American money. I'm just kidding. You do whatever you like. I don't beg for money. Like, if you want to get a membership, right next to my name there, there's a join button. Pick what works for you. Or I think there's a Cash App in my description. I don't really promote it, but for any YouTuber, best thing you can do is just watch. Watch time helps. Oliver 880 says, I see one of those gray Macks sitting at the Mack truck dealership in Franksville, Wisconsin. Hasn't moved in a few months. Oliver 880, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't appreciate you spreading falsehoods and rumors like that. There is no such truck sitting there. It does not exist. And I think you're hallucinating, possibly need to be drug tested. What do you think about the C12 Cat? I like it. Pre-ACERT. Things change with that ACERT. I can't remember, did it switch to a C13 when it became ACERT? I can't remember. But C12 Cat replaced the 3176 Cat. And then the C15 replaced the 3406. All great engines, man. Great engines. I think my battery might be running low, so if I lose you here right in the middle of talking, that's what happened. Hakeem says the fuel is now $3.75 in the Midwest. Fill up your tanks is about $800. I just started a couple months ago, and I feel like it was not the perfect time to start considering the fuel prices. Yeah, but man, you got these rates to go with it, man. Like, if you're in the Midwest and you're not snagging killer rates on a consistent basis, consider hiring a dispatch service. You should be getting really good rates right now, especially in the Midwest. I'm sitting in that cab roasting, turn that AC on. Yeah, but this truck is loud, so it's I don't want to drown out. I'll just put the window down a little bit. This guy's APU, I think it shut off, but yeah, Sab, check out the Nomadic Brit's channel there. He gives his numbers out, so you can see what the Schneider tanker thing's all about. Oliver says, I go by the dealership 20 times a week. Says, oh wait, 10 times a week. See, I think you're hallucinating. I don't think that truck is really there. And no, I'm just giving you some hell. You're right. We're just trying to keep that on the DL. Trying to keep that on the down low right now. Hakeem, John Garcia says, Hakeem, use MUDFLAP, bro. Yeah, MUDFLAP is great, man. They're adding all the quick trips into it one by one. Obviously, if you're going to do it, use my promo code DIY Semi. Get $10 credit on your account for some free fuel. I use it. Used it today. Used it yesterday for some reefer fuel, and used it today for some truck fuel. Oliver 80 says Amston Supply sold all those Mack trucks they bought when they bought out GMR, which is the old structural transport. Yeah, I saw those there, but they were all like flat top sleepers. Don't really match up to a van or a reefer very well for height wise. But Yeah, we got people starting to go to bed here. Oh man, it's 9 o'clock. My battery's starting to go dead here, so I think we got to wrap this up. But I'm just chilling in the truck tonight, so thought I'd jump on here and tell you all about the truck I looked at today. So I don't know, we'll make some decisions here in the next couple days. I don't know what we're gonna do, but got a lot of considering and talking to do. So everybody get to bed. Y'all got to get up early in the morning. I expect y'all to split log, so 8 hours from now y'all best be back on the road. What does that make it, like 5 o'clock in the morning? Alright, we're out of here, guys. Everybody have a good night. We'll catch y'all later.